So we're here in the Neptune Comedy Club, which is reopening this Friday under its original management, and I'm here with that man himself, Mr. Keith Anderson.
How are you doing here?
Keith, how are you keeping? Keith, when I started doing comedy, the Neptune was in version 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did I miss out on?
What was the difference between when I ran it and somebody else ran it? I don't know. I initially opened the Neptune Comedy Club, basically as a place to showcase original comedy acts like myself, which wouldn't be kind of the mainstream, if you know what I mean. Because some promoters around the city kind of steer clear of certain types of comedy, you know. So, which is basically what. So basically, it was a showcase for myself, and but it kind of had this cult following, if you know what I mean. So, you know, people who weren't into mainstream, people that were into kind of alternative comedy could come here, and so it kind of built up from there. So that's kind of what you missed. I mean, we had some fucking brilliant nights here, you know what I mean. It was just the way I did the lineups as well. It was kind of, you know, yeah, it was just amazing.
Yeah, that definitely does not really describe the Neptune that I played at, to be honest with you. But the new Neptune is kicking off now, version 3.0 we'll call it. Yeah. What are we going to promise? What are you promising now? More of the same, or have you got a few new tricks?
It's going to be basically back to the old format. I mean, there's some amazing comedians, newer guys that have come up that I'd really like to put on a stage and pay. Which is another difference between Neptune 2.0 and my Neptune. And also, it's going to be, the acts I bring on, I'd like to see them first, if you know what I mean. I don't just give any jokes up, you know, just because they're nice guys. They have to have the talent to back it up, like yourself. You know what I mean? Because a lot of promoters kind of have personality clashes and that kind of thing, whereas me, I'm upfront and honest. If I don't like you personally, but you're funny, I'll still put you on. Yeah.
Is there a type of comedy that will not play in this new Neptune?
Absolutely. It's what I refer to as hack comedy, which is I don't know, unoriginal. I mean, they could be original jokes written, but they still got that strand of. You remember that show in the 80s, The Comedians, where it was kind of, you know, Jim Bone and stuff, and hey, how you doing? That kind of stuff will not fly in the Neptune.
A lot of people would like that material and would be entertained by it, but it's not going to fly here in the Neptune. Do you think there's a line between entertaining people with comedy or putting on a good comedy show?
Absolutely. I mean. You know, that kind of, what I was talking about, the kind of hack comedy, that will fly if you're sitting with a group of people in a pub and one lad at the table is really funny.
Yeah.
But you can just sit in a pub and hear that. Like,
absolutely.
You should not have to pay to hear that.
Absolutely.
You know, when one of your mates is probably funny.
Yeah. If you're paying for.
The type of comedy I like is well-written comedy, well-written original comedy, where an artist actually sits down and writes something, prepares it, rehearses it, and performs it. That's basically it. You know, that's what I try to do, you know.
The one thing people talk about the Neptune when they talk about the original version is there a lot of camaraderie around it, and it stays with a lot of the acts that I find that came through, like Damon Blake and Barry Mack and George Fox and all those guys.
Absolutely, they were the original crew, which is kind of why I had them on the opening night, just to show people that come in this. I mean, it's going to be a terrific lineup on Friday. I've seen
the lineup. It's actually very good. And
plus, I got a couple of new lads. The Kevin Lockhart, this American guy. I think he's really amazing. He actually won the
comedy Dublin competition there. Yeah.
I think he's one of the best new lads I've seen. And there's a case in point. Me and Kevin have had our differences, you know what I mean? But I think he's a funny guy, so I mean that's why I put him on.
We'll not hold it against him.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing with that is now a lot of clubs since the original Neptune have tried to market themselves, maybe not as the new Neptune, but as the new underground sensation.
They've taken the Dark Night concept, which is, well, we used to have a Dark Night kind of once a month, which was. But a lot of comedians didn't understand that. It was supposed to be dark material, it was supposed to be edgy material, not filth. So a lot of comedians used to come in and they just talk about rape and abortion, etc., with no point to it, which is not what we want. because that's bullshit. Again, your friend in the pub, the disgusting one. That's you don't need to pay to hear that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, intelligent comedy as well. I mean, if you look at people like George Fox, Dan O'Shea, Damon Blake,
Absolutely.
intelligence.
Yes.
It's absolutely intelligent, and it's brilliant writing as well. And they don't get the credit they deserve.
Do you think you can capture lightning in a bottle twice?
Absolutely, and I think the time is right.
The time is right.
The time is right. Yeah, we've got so many kind of new comedians coming up who kind of have that edginess about them. You know, people like Will Lynch, Gary Lynch, who's fast becoming one of my favourites. Gordon Rochford.
Absolutely.
Absolutely amazing, but intelligent as well. You know.
They need a place to play.
Exactly, they do.
Absolutely.
They do, because I mean they're being shunned by some of the bigger clubs. I won't mention names, but you know.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Speaking of the bigger clubs, there's plenty of guys that run clubs that pay, maybe perhaps don't welcome you into their clubs.
Yeah.
Are they welcome to play in your club?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I've actually been thinking about a couple of guys that I like the comedy. Simon O'Keefe. I mean, I haven't played the Capital Comedy Club in 3.5 years, I think. You know, and I don't know why that is. Maybe just because I haven't asked. Perhaps that's it. But I'd like to have Simon here, you know, MC one night or something, because I think he's a good MC. Yeah, I mean, some maybe not. You know, there are some guys that run clubs and they're not particularly funny in my view. So
would you give them a 7-minute open spot?
Just wouldn't say. Maybe. Yeah. If they wrote something specific, perhaps, but based on their old sets of that.
Nah. So we're going to kick off now. It's this Friday, Keith, and I wish you the absolute very best of luck with it. And put me down for a set sometime, hopefully.
Certainly, you're on.
So that's this Friday. Anybody that likes their comedy intelligent,
yeah, exactly.
This is the place to be.
Come along.
Excellent.
Have a great night.
Excellent.
Right, thanks, sir.